Hello again, traders. Right, excuse me. I've just got to my walking spot today. Made myself a coffee before I go out, and then hopefully I'll do best part of 20,000 steps today. Sun's out. It's not as warm as it could be, but the shorts and t-shirt will be out, raring to go. Sunglasses too. Amazing, beautiful British weather, and then soon to be foreign weather, hot weather. Can't wait. So I thought I'd make this quick video about what I'm watching and why. I won't be able to trade it because I won't be here. But like always, over coffee, I'm looking at charts. I love it, as mentioned earlier. So I actually stopped and, already like all the yen pairs for possible longs. Nothing I do is long-term analysis, really, guys, because I just don't do it. I'm not interested. But short-term, intraday, let's have a look at EJ and why. Drew a couple of levels on there. Let's zoom in. Well, let's zoom out first. We clearly can see what's going on here. I mean, it's not the best looking possible 2B reversal pattern I'd ever want to be looking at on H4 in terms of where we are. But we've actually closed above this high here and this high here, and most importantly this high here. So short term we're going to be looking at another chart pattern over here. Oh, this is a daily. I do apologize. Short term we're going to be looking at a oh, I know why I was looking at the daily now, sorry. We're going to be looking at something inside here and inside here. Now on this daily chart, we know we've got a supply and demand area above, a close and an open, big red candle. We are attacking an old close and open to the above us, as it were. But don't want to go into too much detail there, because obviously what I'm looking at is this actual thing here and my new beloved H1, M15, M5. So M5 just needs to come into alignment. We've got that was a daily trigger there, that was a daily trigger there. We haven't got a daily trigger today because obviously we're way below and pretty flat. Got some momentum on the daily RSI, although all this higher time frame RSI analysis and whatnot is very, very new. I've got to stress that. When we look at this is the perfect bust pullback for 2 days, break and close below. So that was our trigger, as it were, around here. And you can see what happened. I mean, if we'd taken that new red there as a trigger, then we would have got that massive tail down. So back on the higher time frames, I didn't even look at the weekly on EJ. I just looked at that and thought, yeah, that's interesting. Just like I would look at the sell zones, triple sell zones. Crikey, I do not want to try and get involved in a long-winded. I wasn't even looking at them. I was on the previous video, of course. Oh, let's quickly have a peep at those. You can't not, can you? That was the trade of the day, to be honest with you, selling that thing. So flat there. This is a daily, of course. While we're here, let's have a look at US 30. Not 100. I don't. 100 is fantastic for scalping the post-American session. I absolutely adore it now. But not too bothered about any intraday long-term analysis on that, because it is a volatile beast. Maybe one day, never say never. So US 30 again is long according to this daily trigger, and this I might have mentioned in a previous video, but this configuration of the TMA, remember this one's not closed, but that's what I call the flickering TMA. it is a work in progress, as it were, in terms of volatility. It's trying to push up. Now, what do we know about this? We'll put a quick level on this, and we will just quickly short time analysis. We know it's done a 3CR. We know yesterday was potentially a pullback, big candle reversal, pullback, and then potentially we should still possibly get a long trigger to break the high of that, because we couldn't break it yesterday. Just put a resistance on the high of that candle. Yeah, it's an inside bar, and then I will zoom in a bit for you. It's an inside bar. That yellow line is lower than the previous green high, and this really is on my radar for longs as it stands because of this and the flickering. So then we can go down onto H4, and we start to see it's still, according to my knowledge of candles and wicks and things, here still potentially long. However, we have got a pullback into this supply zone, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, as it stands. But this is the current H4. Everything could change. We can draw a descending trend line on that stuff there. This is telling us, I always visualize these longer time frames as, 5 minute 15, which I specialized in all my trading life. This situation here really is not a lot different than that situation there. So that's what I try and visualize. Then you've got this that, sort of qualifies the long bias, as it were. Much the same as we've got all these wicks here and this going on here. So, we could go on forever. We've tested this previous resistance level on the SS support and resistance. So, as I mentioned in a tweet earlier, I could write an essay about various charts like recent candles and all that lot, and all this lot as well. I mean, this is telling us that the momentum and the slope has dropped off. This is telling us it's not divergent, because that isn't a higher high. There's so much you can get off a few candles. Always said that, and I mean it, because I specialised in the 3CR. This one's a 2CR, and once you've done that, you can't undo the knowledge. So yeah, none of this is for you to take as trade advice. Never. I'm not qualified to give advice on trading setups and things like that. All I'm passing on is my knowledge. And if ever I do go pay for view and stuff, you will just be paying for my time. That's it. Nothing else. So back to EJ, and let's get on that daily so we can re-centralize ourselves as well. Well, the weekly actually looks very interesting. What we've got, that's a 2CR engulfing candle. That's your pullback candle. That's your continuation candle. If this was a 5 minute, what would we expect this to potentially do? Continue, wouldn't we? This isn't telling us anything. This is momentum's growing, and that is the weekly. So the weekly does look quite 2B-ish if this was a 5 minute chart, and bullish, whatever you want to call it, as a potential second test of a level there. You can look at it on the line chart too. This has turned out to be a bigger video than I intended to, but the coffee is still boiling hot, so why not? So we have actually closed above the sellers way up here. That's a bullish sign. You can see that there, and we are up to the second level, the higher level there, and closed. So that's broken. Today could be a little bit of a pullback day, or this week, continue down, because this is a weekly chart, remember. So let's get back to the daily and see what that's telling us. So the line chart on the daily is above here again, and we're testing this level up here. Let's put that on. That being open and close of some candles there. What have we done on the bars? We haven't tested that level yet. That supply area there. So again, that actually qualifies my bullish bias on this particular move, and agrees with the Bollinger indicator, my new best friend. And now we can start to look at H4. Not much more to worry about on D1. It's a bullish day. That's all you can say. You know, this whole supply and demand area here, here, and here has failed to actually hold price. Do you understand that? Hopefully you do. Say yes to the your screen. There, and there. I'm talking about the close of that candle, the close of that candle, the open of that candle, the close of that candle. Nothing in there has held stop price yet on this daily move. So it's looking, you know, bullish. So now we can get down to the H4, finally you say, and we can connect all of that lot. That's a downtrend there, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, and so on and so forth. And we are breaking through levels. These yellow levels are the H4 highs. H4 there and H4 there. Let's double check that one again. Just slap it on there. These are snap 2 indicators I use. Excuse me. But, 10 o'clock, new H4 just printed. So we can go on there. It's not green, but H1 would be my focus of attention now. As I said before, this is 1, 2, 3 high, low. That would be the Vixparandio 2B, swing 1, swing 2, swing 3. Then we've got an internal 1, 2, 3, which, you know, I've talked about on numerous videos now. We've got the last 30-minute gave us a trigger, so that's the 30-minute high. Slap that on there, which means we're looking to break that. Sorry, H1, I do apologise, getting ahead of myself. That H1, the new H1, has made 2 consecutive bullish TMA candles, and that's all about the slope, as you know, TMA slope. So we'll connect, we'll go through there, because this is what I do. Don't have to explain why really, and that there. So the close and close, roughly the close area and the close area, they're connected. And this now, because it's happening in front of our very eyes, is what we need to do. The H1 is closed. We need to look at the lower time frames and see how they look. This is what I'm scalping every day, day in, day out, guys. So we've got growing momentum there. There is no way, you know, in the famous words of me, that I want to be selling. So let's go on 15 and see how that closes. I have no idea what that alert is, but bear with, guys. Apologies and all that. If you're at work and trying to listen to this on headphones or whatever. Yeah, we failed to have a green M15, which suggests to me that we might get a little bit of a pullback, but it wouldn't stop me potentially entering this trade at this stage in the game. H4, remember we had that close, suggests also we may have to suffer a little pullback. Remember, every candle close potentially has broken levels. This has broken the high of that one. It's a new break of recent resistance. A red candle high is resistance, remember. So you always have to be aware. But multi-time frame momentum, and I don't mention this very often because I just assume you understand it. But if we're getting newer traders, then I need to keep explaining this stuff. Multi-time frame momentum will tell you whether you're going to suffer a pullback most of the time, providing you get right down on the M5 and M1 for your entry, or price is just ready to go without you. Other little clues would be ADRs. It's 60. Remember, the daily is in a strong move, and that's a quarter of roughly what the 10-day ADR is. I should reduce that to 5, really. That's more reactive. 5 days is a trading week, isn't it? So, More analysis. M30. Now we're on M30. And M30, you know, wicks again. Back to the wicks. Wicks here. Uptrend. Let's zoom out a bit. And, you know, I'm looking at this. And the break of the previous M30. You know, 3CR tells us we've had a pullback. Wick tells us we've had a pullback. RSI tells us that we've had a pullback on that candle. This could still turn red, remember. So, once again, all very bullish. M15, how did that close? M15 was the weaker one. I'm not sure whether I'm repeating myself now. Things are moving so fast, and I did intend this to be a fast video, but my coffee's still cooling, so we're good. And the walk is cooling, the sun's out there, but it could warm up a bit, so that's good too. So M15, I would have preferred to see green as well. But as it is, we've broken the high, that resistance level there. Let's get down on M5. So this is far from perfect at this stage, because that is not a 2B pattern there either. This is, but remember it's at the top of it. I always want to be really trading VIX Sporandio's original breakout levels, which are way, way below this level here. Let's actually look at a 2B, see if we can find the, I know there's a D1 and an H1 and all that up. So it's really, I mean, this is absolutely a mess from the point of view of these slightly medium to higher time frames. But this is where the I would apply Dean's lines and looking at this and looking at that. As a scalper, I can see this would be the first area that price would struggle. Remember, I use old daily open lines, which is up here, and I use the pivots. That's why they're on my charts. Old, that's the previous day's pivot, which will act like a magnet to price. So, and remember, you want to create a zone really. So what is that possible cheeky little scalp area for me as a scalper? 15 pips. That is like heaven, heaven sent. Now I would apply the open high low close. Thanks Dean again. See what's there. Yep, that is what I call clear air, guys. So if we get the right triggers here, then potentially that clear air will should be filled, which is manna from heaven for me. If I was going to be around and if I was desperate for another trade, I would make sure everything looks right. Then we need to get, you know, that's M30, M15, and look how these gaps seem to look even more enticing when we get to that level. M5. Oh, excuse me. Now, I have to say this, and it's a good reminder why I'm not all over this particular trade like a rash. Why is that? The time of day is wrong. H4 closes traditionally will potentially cause a pullback. You know, so you have to be ultra careful, and you have to spend an extra year or two studying them, or trading them demo, or trading them with pennies, whichever you prefer. I think pennies is a waste of time, so just get your trading legs under your belt with demo. So you can look to see whether that's worth trading by looking at the TMA. And the previous candle was not a trigger candle on M5, so until we get one, it's pretty dangerous. So we just wait for this M5 to become a trigger candle, and then wherever the high of that is, much the same as I explained on that daily chart just now, you know, it can go up and down for a day. It's on here actually, isn't it? This one. This scenario can happen. We get our trigger candle, we fail to break the high of the trigger candle, so we wait for the break of that subsequent trigger candle with gusto, as it were, with MTF power. So, and I do apologise again, guys. If you're watching this, then to me, you're the sort of guys I want to be talking to anyway. So apologies to the people that think I ramble on and talk rubbish and they just want the holy grail of trading, which there is not one. It's in your brain. Apologies to you guys, but you ain't ever going to become a profitable trader unless you can do the thousands of hours that are required. So this needs to turn green on M5, which isn't the end of the world. My coffee's still too hot to drink. And then we need to think about the potential of trading the break of this if it turns green. That one hasn't, of course. So, and if you want to be a one pip crazy scalper, then look at this. M1 is millions of miles away from being perfect right now. So that just hammers home. There has to be a caveat on this, that this H4 close at 10 has not got any interest. We've got red news at 1 o'clock, and the 1:30 rather, UK time. And the reason I always highlight that, I don't trade news, and I've said this thousands of times on my Twitter feed, or hundreds should I say. All I want to be looking at the news calendar, and red news only. I'm not interested in brown and amber and all that lot. Grey's handy, bank holidays. I've been caught out by that before by now, but not with my trading. Doesn't make me lose money. Just I forget. I wonder why price is moving a bit weird, and then I find out it's a bank holiday in the USA or China or somewhere. Japan, Swiss bank holidays, European bank holidays. The only caveat with this 10 a.m. being a bad candle to consider trading, post 10 a.m. H4, is that the gold prints an hour later, because for whatever reason that gold market doesn't open. It opens an hour later than the American markets, the American overnight when the charts start, when H4s print. So the H4 on gold is out of sync, but what you can do then is study. I won't do that because this will make this hours. Study a gold H4. In fact, why not? Sod it. You good guys, you committed guys deserve the extra in-depth analysis. Gold. Where are we? Gold. Gold. Oh, I had a little scalp on that. I said about that first thing this morning. And we have the runners running. These are pennies running on here now. So that's why that looks a bit scary. I'll tell you what that is. That is just the one gold position running, and that is £4.46. Literally, that is, like I say, it's pennies, not even 1.01% of whatever. So I've got a few runners. I just noticed that UJ, couple of small positions on that. But I took a full-size position and then closed 299ers. And what other one is running? I didn't intend to go there. GJ, one on that, and just to see where they go. As you can see where I want to take profit on that pink 3CR supply and demand area. So why I think they're powerful, why they're going to cause problems with my trades, and why I leave these runners on. Then when I get back to my charts, I can instantly see what's going on. I can instantly remember where my focus was, and I can instantly decide whether I was right or wrong. Like the gold, it was a quick scalp. I thought it might run up faster, and it's not. Simple as that. So that's how I use those things. But it is in a massive, massive uptrend. This is H4, so the break of that one was good. So we're looking at the gold H4 chart for the potential close at 11 o'clock, and what is happening on what time are we? So I've lost all sorts. 10:13. So we've got whatever it is, 43 minutes, 47 minutes until the H4 closes. That's going to close red. Excuse me. which in fairness, I knew what gold was going to do, and that wasn't my initial stop. My initial stop is generally a lot tighter. It's about 15 pips, if my memory serves, and just brought it down to the high of this candle, expecting that to potentially get test with the reversal, and as you can see, it did almost to the pip, and missed my stop. And this looks like it should continue down, which would agree with the pound yen potentially continuing in its upward, I can't say trajectory very well, but upwards. Pound yen, similar, same as UJ. As I said, I'm all over these yen pairs, which is why, going back to EJ, back to where we started, let's have a look. See, we've got a trigger on there now. Let's have a look at M15. Yep, that's doing exactly, that's a flickerer. M30. Yep, green, doing exactly what I expected it to do. Let's have a look at M1, the break of that high. M1 is a flickerer too, potential trigger, and that is now a trigger for a new potential scalp to the long side. Does it? Yeah, that's the 15-minute and the 5-minute, both closed green. New 5-minute, new 15-minute trigger. So focus is on the high of that 15. Let's put that on there. The previous 15 and the previous M5. So now you have seen the analysis for a live 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, hourly long. So that is the scalper move that I'm looking at. What have we done so far? Holy shamoly, we have made 2 pips, but not net of spread yet. So come on, baby. Got the RSI trigger too. Bust, pull back, break and close above the bust level there. And let's have a look. We had my potential target, didn't we? Oh, my tummy just made a bit of a noise then, sorry. And that is where we're going. I'm going to have a slurp of my coffee. So, I should apologise, and then I shouldn't apologise really for this running into what was going to be a super short. Well, the reason being, price didn't move as I expected it to, which is exactly why we can't sit in live rooms, because I'm not a news trader. I'm not a market open specialist. That does not agree with my whole trading ethos. I don't want traders to all sit down at 7 o'clock watching the DAX open or 8 o'clock watching the UK open, because they can happen in minutes, or they can force mistakes because they don't happen, and you sit there for 60 minutes and think, I've got to find a trade, I've got to find a trade. What I'm trying to put across, and I don't say this ever, and I've never said this, I don't think, what I'm trying to get across to you guys is that you have to make your plans and let the trades come to you. All of these thousands of people that sit in rooms at these supposedly best times of day to trade, they are arsehole times to trade, in my opinion. Obviously people can trade them, but they create unnecessary stress and pressure. This doesn't. It's either going to turn green, that 5 minute I told you we were going to have to wait for, or it can go like this for 10 5-minute or 25-minute sessions. We know if it turns red, we shouldn't even be thinking of taking the red. So I've never said this, and this is really important actually. This is why my trading is stress-free, and this is why I don't want a trading room of any sort unless it's just an educational tool like this. But then I'm going to be sat here potentially 3 hours, and you're going to be getting bored out of off your tits, as it were, and think I'm wasting your time. But the other way is the wrong way. This is the right way. But I will put a caveat in there, and I always do. If someone tells you something is wrong, don't believe them. You have to do it yourself. So go and sit in those rooms. Go and make huge losing trade mistakes because you've preempted what the potentially clever trader is telling you to do. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. How do you think I know it is bad for most traders? Because I was probably one of 150 people in a room, of which probably a dozen or so of us used to make a sub room after the event and talk about it all. And of those dozen, I'm the only one still doing this, or 2 dozen, whatever you want to call it, because it takes years, not days. So I'm preaching again. How far did that move from that original break? So that should be the M15 high. It is that M15 trigger. And again, you know, remember I said this probably wasn't a good place to be considering trading, because an H4 chart, it's not made 2 pips yet, EJ. An H4 chart at 10 p.m. is unless it's a monster candle and you can trade the reversal. Unless gold, I didn't really clarify what I meant by gold. Gold gives you another aspect or another thought process on it. It may be that the gold is building up to, for 11 o'clock close, to be a massive candle. If that's the case, then you know, you perhaps want to be ready for a big green gold candle at H4 close at 11 a.m. potentially means a monster pullback is in the offing, which is why this whole 10 a.m. close is a potential, I didn't finish the news comment either, is a potential sideways order building process ready for the news. But also news, so it sounds like I'm making up ideas all the time. I'm not. I've talked about them thousands of times. News can be where they're pushing price to new levels, so they can either be pre-news pushing price or building orders, hence all spikes all over the place, or pushing price, which I like to trade as well. And how do I trade it? All of this. So I am never going to be saying to you, let's wait for 2:30 when the stock's open and let's see what happens, and we'll all sit there all potentially understanding things differently or thinking we have these bright ideas to slap a £1,000 risk trade on there and blow the lot, and then just it continues for another 5 years until you hopefully teach yourself not to do these stupid things. But anyway, the other, you know, we can look at this. The other idea is pound yen should be moving faster than EJ. I love trading pound yen in opposition to EJ. There it goes. Look, it's going. My original setup, as it were. But remember, I've taken my profit, took it ages ago, and in this instance, I didn't need to push the stop loss down because I expected it just to continue going up. So let's put our M15 on the chart. See, we didn't. This is why I use correlation and just a few related pairs. We didn't get the 15-minute trigger. That's happening now. Let's just switch to UJ. Excuse me. So gold will be probably hitting the stop losses, but it doesn't matter because I took my profit. I'm a scalper. But gold will tell me if dollar is strong, gold will be weak. But that doesn't affect my scalping so much. I hope that's another point I need to make. So as you can see on UJ, I had a couple of little trades. In fact, I had three. I had one full size, and then these two, one mini size, and then a one partial. So getting back to the point, UJ is only making the trigger now. Now, I love this. Also, this is another point that I need to make. This trigger, even though it's later than the EJ one, loads, is suggesting to me that all of the yen pairs have a lot further to go. Now, this isn't trade advice again, but these are all slightly conflicting. But the fact remains, that's going to be potentially another 15-minute close, which is a bust, pullback, break and close higher. That wasn't a break and close because it didn't break that. What we're looking for is growing, strengthening momentum. You know, all of this bust, pullback, break and close on the RSI was new 3 years ago. And I said even back then, I said, this thing has got millions or hundreds of secrets still to divulge. I use that expression. So has the TMA, and ultimately so has the MACD, and so is this, so is this. And because I discounted loads and loads of indicators that I considered worth looking at over the last 20 years, you can see what I'm getting at. I've got to go all back over that stuff because I didn't know back then what I know now. I mean, how can we keep learning like this? How can it keep going on? It's just crazy. So that TP would have been for one of my oh, there it is, the pivot, the other day's pivot, because I know price will want to test that like a magnet, and I also know that it will cause a problem with price as well. Something has just hit profit. I think it's one of the UJ partials. Yeah, it has. Yeah, UJ's closed with a profit. So they're only pennies, guys, because I'm a scalper. I'm all done and dusted. But as I've said thousands of times now, you know, this will cause a problem. The old daily, I put that back on my chart. Somehow I've managed to lose it. That will be a potential magnet to profit because they're huge, these levels. Eventually I think I'm going to get the weekly opens on my charts, and who knows where it'll end. Weekly pivots, because they're potential targets and they're also potential stopping points. They're going to be problems to price. That's why I love Dean's line so much. Said it a million times. But something else has just closed. Oh, that'll be that GJ, I expect. There you go. Well, I've enjoyed this actually, although I promised it wasn't going to be one of those. But there you go. What can you say? That's got to be the next potential test area. And that's why I put the runners on, because how can I learn about this unless I focus on them? And there, the old yesterday's R1. I just love this stuff so much. Let's put a level on there and see how close that was to that actual level. Yeah, like I say all the time, pivots, you need to treat them as a zone because they are just that. Every broker's pivot is a different level. There is the exact level hiding behind there. Let's go down one more. What was the level? I think it would tell us. Pivot 19467. In case you're not aware, you can do this. Parameters 19467. You can move it to the precise level. There you go. Yeah, I had it pretty close anyway, didn't I? The high of that is 194649. So pretty close, but like I say, the pivots are a zone, guys. So yeah, I'm going to call this a day because I need to get out. The low tide is in about 10 minutes. I had intended to get out an hour ago so I can get on a sandbank and have a paddle. Thanks for watching again. I'm sorry that I didn't make this a short video, but look at all this lot and look at all this lot. I just absolutely adore it. I wonder what that red one is. US 30. M5, yeah, so we had a good old, that's an M1 2B. There it is there. That's the M1 123 high low. See that? That's an, or you could call it a M or a second, 15-second 2B reversal, that'll be. And VIX levels are this one for a 2B. There. Swing 1, 2, 3. And the close through that, the low of that would be VIX sell zone. There. And it's closed through it, pulled back that little 1, 2, 3 high low or 2B on the 15-second chart. That's the close below that support level there that created the green candle. And Bob's your uncle. Oh, we got a red trigger as well with that red, and that would be the trade down to the roughly there 10 points or 100 points, 10 pips. Easy peasy, nice and squeezy. So that's it, guys. I need to get out. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.